Now, AMC stock has fallen out of the bottom of the wedge everybody has been looking at for months now. AMC stock broke out in a bearish manner. This is bad news if you're a technical trader, but if you're not trading the technicals in AMC, if you're here for something we call the mother of all short squeezes, the AMC stock short squeeze, the life-changing money, not 5% gains, everything is still on according to plan. The short interest still around 17%, 80-some million shares being shorted by the hedge funds. They still have to cover those shares. So in essence, nothing has changed except a better buying opportunity. So in this video, we're going to discuss some of the technicals that are out there and why the AMC stock short squeeze is absolutely still on. So if all of this sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. I'm here to make 2021 the best year ever. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join us. Become a bro. We are here every single day, and we are growing our portfolios together. And look, if you're brand new to investing, you don't know where to buy stocks, you can use the link in the description below for Webull. It is super simple to set up your account, and a $100 deposit is going to get you guessed it, 2 free stocks. So make sure to check that out, guys. But let's talk about AMC for a minute, because, guys, it's big news that it dropped out of this wedge. A lot of people don't think that the technical analysis shows too much, but it absolutely does, because the majority of investors buying AMC stock right now are not apes. The majority of investors buying AMC are traditional investors. Pensions are picking up AMC. Institutions are picking up AMC. Day traders are still trading AMC. And we live in this world where we think only apes are buying and holding AMC. It's very difficult to have that train of thought, because if you do, you end up thinking, well, if only apes own AMC, that means nobody's willing to sell it. If nobody's willing to sell it, every time people go buy AMC stock, it's got to be a fake share. Right? Well, if you get into that mentality, you start to really warp what's going on in the market, what's possible, and what's even realistic. So knowing that, we know that we've broken out to the downside. What does this mean? If you're looking at the technical levels of support and resistance, we were in that descending wedge since June, and it was holding up extremely nicely. Now, we broke out to the downside, and unless we gap up tomorrow, because the overall market is drastically pulling back today, I don't know, most likely because Jerome Powell had to testify today, and he was talking about the CARES Act, and he was talking about the coronavirus and all of that stuff, which really deterred investors from wanting to buy assets. Now, because of this, we saw almost everything in the red and deep in the red today. Therefore, AMC followed suit and closed deep in the red as well. And because of that, if we don't get a nice rebound tomorrow, we're likely to sustain the movement to the downside below that wedge. Now, unfortunately, this means the bottom end of that wedge will now be used as a level of resistance as opposed to a level of support. So where do we find support? What's the next level? Well, actually, we were testing support today around that $32.50, $33 per share level, and we did bounce off of it. Below that, this is where it gets scary. Okay, below that is that $30 level. Now, I know you guys remember testing, if you've been in AMC for any amount of time, you remember coming down and testing that $30 level of support once. Back when we came down, we tested it, and AMC was bouncing back and forth between $28.50 and $30 per share. Sorry. When that happened, we developed a very strong bottom line level of support at that $30 per share range. Now, knowing that we could continue to see a pullback in the overall market if investors stay spooked, if people are concerned about these new variants that are going on out there and potential implications to the overall economy, we could see the market continue to pull back a little bit. And if that happens, you're going to have a lot of people telling you that a market pullback is going to cause the AMC stock short squeeze simply because the hedge funds are going to be losing a lot of money. And if the hedge funds are losing money, they're more likely to be margin called, and they're more likely to be margin called on AMC, etc. You can follow the train all the way down the line. But knowing that, if AMC stock is pulling back along with the market right now, if the overwhelming amount of investors are traditional investors, retail traders, day traders, institutional investors, pension funds, and so on. If the market pulls back, AMC is likely to pull back with the market. So if we begin to test these levels around $30 per share, I just want to let everybody know right now that beyond that, we have a very small level of support at that $26.50 mark. Now, we tested this $26.50 mark back before the June run-up. I believe it was on a Friday when we started to run up. And then we tested that $26.50. Below that, guys, it's the $20 high and back down to $14.50. I am not going to sit here and tell you that that is going to happen, that we are anywhere near that. I'm simply pointing out the levels of support on the AMC stock chart if you're looking at a technical analysis view of the trading pattern and of the price of AMC stock. Clearly, if we do continue to decline, AMC stock is going to begin to look extremely, not just cheap, but extremely cheap to a lot of people. If pensions, institutions, and momentum traders are willing to pick up AMC in the 30s, imagine how many people will just swarm and buy it if it were to fall through that level of support at 30 and come back down into the 20s. So there's a definite shift in perspective from where we were back in March and April and May and even going into June when we were at that $14.50, $20 range, and all of a sudden $14.50 was expensive and $20 was really expensive. Now it's going to be viewed as extremely cheap. So because of that, if we do experience some sort of a drastic market pullback and AMC falls, you have to keep in mind and you have to remember, if you're in it for the short squeeze, you need to pay attention to the short squeeze numbers. Short interest, cost to borrow, average days to cover, things like this. And if you look at those and everything is indicating that the short squeeze is still on, I'm still holding. And if you're in it for the short squeeze, you would still be holding as well, knowing the short squeeze has not taken place and is set to take place at some time in the future. But I want to know what you guys think. So let me know down in the comments below. Because I'm feeling, and this is just me, right? And I'm trying to gauge the sentiment that's out there. But I'm feeling like a lot of people are slightly on edge right now. They're getting a little nervous because we're pulling back in price. But I want to know, and there's no better way to do that than ask you guys. So let me know down in the comments below how you're feeling about AMC stock. If that button's still red, make sure to click it, subscribe to the channel, join us, become a bro. We are here every single day, and we are growing our portfolios together. ClayBro883 on Twitter and Instagram. You can use the links in the description below for Webull, Binance, and Gemini. And until the next time, hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.